Good morning, my dear students. Welcome you back to the online class. Today we are going to talk about emotional intelligence. Okay, and this topic is prescribed for semester 3 of second years. Okay, and what is emotional intelligence? What is emotional intelligence? Today we are going to discuss it in detail. Okay, let us go. Let us discuss what is emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence, in the sense, as we all know, emotions are very common. Actually, every human being have emotions. Okay, emotions could be anger, emotions could be love, emotion could be fear, emotion could be crying. Okay, fear, all these things include emotions. Each and every human being have these kind of emotions. So emotional intelligence, in the sense, how we recognize emotions and manage them in ourselves and also in others. Okay, when we communicate each other, sometimes we cannot control our emotions. Sometimes we lose our emotion. Sometimes we cry so many times. Okay, sometimes we laugh so much. Sometimes we fear something, and sometimes we cannot control these things. Okay, and by controlling these emotions, by recognizing and controlling these emotions in us and in others, we can manage and we can also excel in our life. So there are certain ways to know our emotions and control them. Then how we can excel in our career, we are going to look at today. So now let us see emotions. What is emotional intelligence definition? Emotional intelligence is your ability to recognize and understand emotions in yourself and others. As I told you, it is your ability to recognize and understand emotions. So, how your emotions are managing in you and in others. You have to manage their emotions, and accordingly, you have to change yourself. How you have to recognize and understand emotions in yourself and others. Your ability to use this awareness to manage your behavior and relationships. It is said by Bradbury and Greaves, 2019. So here, this quotation says that emotions are common in everybody, but we have to identify our emotions, we have to recognize our emotions, and we have to manage it. Okay, so that we can reach to the higher levels of our career. Other people's emotions also we have to understand, we have to recognize, and accordingly we can change our behaviors. As said, we can manage your behavior in relationships. Okay, in our relationship we have so much of uh, so much of complications in life. Sometimes we feel happy, sometimes we feel cry, sometimes we feel agony, sometimes we feel pain, sometimes we laugh. Now, all these emotions are common in ourselves and also in others. So by recognizing those emotions, we can have a good relationship with others, and at the same time we can manage our life without much difficulty. Let us see the second definition of emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence refers to the capacity for recognizing our own feelings. So we have to, it is a capacity to recognize our own feelings and those of others, and we have to recognize the feelings of others for motivating ourselves. So sometimes, let us say, my emotion is very what we call very emotional towards, very emotional, very sympathetic. For example, let us say very sympathetic towards everybody. So we have to exhibit this sympathy according to the situation and time. If we can always show sympathy on others, and so we should always be sympathetic, then sometimes we will be in problematic. Suppose we can show sympathy at a certain level. If we can exceed that certain level and we always show sympathy to others, that means we are not in emotional balance. Okay, so there should be certain ways to control, or that there should be certain skills which we, the ability which we can manage those. Some people always cry, some people always get anger. Okay, for small things, for petty things, they try to exhibit their anger on others. So this is also emotional weakness. So by identifying our emotion, simply we can manage ourselves, and also we can have a good relationship with others. We can manage ourselves and we can also manage others. For motivating ourselves and for managing emotions well in ourselves and in relationships. Goldman. So in relationships, sometimes if we can exhibit unnecessary emotions towards others, then complications may arise. Okay. Suppose if somebody wants to try to quarrel with us, try to dispute with us. So if we can lose our emotion, okay, then certainly there might be some chances to get get our relationship disturbed, or sometimes it can lead to some other activity, or so it can lead to destroy our relationship. Okay. So if we can well balance our emotion, whether it is anger, whether it is laughing, whether it is crying, whether it is panic, if we can manage those emotions, definitely we can try to have a good relationship with others, and we can also manage ourselves very well. Okay. So being able to monitor and regulate one's own and others' feelings, So we have to understand our feelings, and we have to understand sometimes others' feelings. If we cannot understand others' feelings and we can go by our own feelings, then certainly some friction may arise in our relationship. It may be a friend, or it may be our mother, family members, or it may be some our neighbors or relatives, whoever it may be. So we have to regulate our own and others' feelings, and to use feelings to guide thought and action. Okay, to use those feelings to guide thought and action. Okay, so our thought process might change, and our actions also could change, because if we cannot identify, or if we cannot recognize our emotions properly, then our life sometimes may face much more difficult than usual. Okay, of course difficulties or obstacles, hardships are common in everybody's life, but if we cannot manage those difficulties without emotional balance, let us see, why should we care about emotional intelligence? Why should we care about emotional intelligence? For business cases, in business cases, job success. Okay, to get a job and also to lead our job successfully, we have to have emotional intelligence. Suppose somebody wants to get a job, and their family members, he is working very hard, but his family members are always speak negatively about him, because he is not getting job, he is not a good person, he is not a very intelligent person. So somebody may criticize, some of your family members definitely criticize, because getting job a good thing, but sometimes what we expect, what we prepare may not be sufficient for getting a job. So then what happens, people expect us a lot, but we try our level best, even though we won't get a job for a long time, then people started criticizing to you. So then you have to balance your emotion. You should not cry, at the same time you should not show anger towards them. So you should maintain, you should recognize your ability, and to get the job, at the same time you also to get the job successfully, to manage your job, to manage your job successfully. Okay, so job success, to get a job success in business purpose also, we should have emotional intelligence. Okay, then increased productivity. So we can suppose if we have very good emotional intelligence, we can increase our productivity. Our productivity, it might be a thought of productivity, it might be financial productivity, it might be some goods, it might be whatever it be. Productivity in the sense, whatever we invest on, okay, that might increase. Okay, and that is called increased productivity. We should not unnecessarily, or we should not lose our emotional intelligence at any cost. Okay, at any situation, because it leads to some other disturbances, it leads to some other problem. Okay, next, third one, lowers turnover. Okay, it's sometimes we can lose, then it lowers our turnover, means productivity also lowers. Reduction in grievances, you can reduce the grievances, problems. Suppose suppose no, I am a lecturer. Let me tell you my example. I am a lecturer and I take 2-3 classes regularly. Okay. Suppose if I don't answer the grievances of the students or the doubts of the students in the classroom, if I unnecessarily lose my anger or unnecessarily scold them, unnecessarily insult them in the classroom, then there are chances that they might complaint against you, and that is a grievance. Okay. So you can reduce your grievance. Okay. People will not complain you if you are a very much emotional balance, and if you can answer all the questions asked by the students, you will not receive any grievances from the college. So first of all, you should you should have emotional intelligence, emotional balance. Then automatically grievances would be reduced. The reduction in time loss accidents. Okay, sometimes reduction of time loss accidents. Okay, sometimes some accidents. Okay, without accident in the sense not all road accidents in unnecessary incidents also, which consumes lot of time. Suppose uh, you had a dispute with your parents, and your parents are scolding you, or parents are criticizing you. But if you can maintain emotional balance in you, you can easily overcome the difficulty, and you can smoothly you can overcome the deficiency. Otherwise, what happens if you start scolding against them again, retorting them, then again it would lose, it may cost lot of valuable time will be wasted unnecessarily. Parents show their anger or their grievance, or they may show their emotion towards you, but you have to restrain yourself and maintain emotional intelligence, so that you can save your valuable time, and at the same time you cannot have further damage. Okay. So likewise, reduction in time and accidents. Emotional intelligence will help you to more successful at. Okay, help you to be more successful at. As I told you, emotional, if you can balance ourselves, all the complications or all the things arises when we lose our emotional intelligence. Okay. So if we control ourselves, whether it is anger, whether it is happiness, whether it is fear, whether it is panic, whether it is patience, there are a lot of emotions are there. If we can control all those emotions, we can lead our life successfully, and we can avoid many complications, many problems in our life. Let us say emotional intelligence will help you be more successful at managing behaviors. You can manage your behavior successfully. Okay, you can manage your behavior in the sense you may not have a rivalry. Okay, if you can manage with everybody, if you can behave with everybody properly and in a proper manner, in a proper situation, then people will respect you, and they will not criticize you, and your behavior will be respected by many people. Navigating change, new trends and social complexities. So navigating change means you can be a symbol for change. You can be a symbol for change. So people will take you as the change factor. People will consider you as one of the best person who can be taken as an inspiration to change themselves. Okay. So change by taking an example from you, people will change themselves. Okay, and it leads to new trends, and some kind of social complexities also you can easily remove. Developing many skills associated with high performances. Okay, so there are certain situations we have to perform very highly. Okay, so we have to act intelligently. So in such manners, in such cases, we can develop many skills, many patients. For example, there is a land issue at your home. Okay, somebody is trying to encroach your land. Okay, then what happens, that guy starts quarreling with you, and he tries to manhandle with you. Okay, there are so many people in that group, so you are the person who has to manage with him. So what you have to do, you have to speak with him politely, you have to convince him. Okay, you have to You should not lose your temper at any cost, and you make sure that by speaking politely or by managing emotions, definitely you will get anger at the time, because people will lose their patience, and sometimes they scold. Whatever comes from their mouth, they start scolding with abusing words. But what you have to do, you have to be very patient enough at that time. You should not lose your temper. You should be very patient enough. I should not speak any negative words. You should not abuse any negative words. Okay, then definitely after some time you are the person who can manage all those skills. Okay, many skills you can develop: patience skills, okay, communication skills, soft skills, all those skills you can develop very much, okay, if you can manage your emotional intelligence. Then making personal decisions, okay, when you can also make good decisions, personal decision. uh, when you are when you lose your temper, when you lose your emotions, you will not apply your intelligence. Okay, there are very less chances that you use your brain. Okay, so మన జనరల్లీ we speak in Telugu, ఎవరి కోపం వాళ్ళకి శత్రువు. Let us say most of the time people exhibit their anger instead of showing sympathetic words, or instead of showing positive words, they always show their anger towards others to suppress them or to control them, to manage them. But most of the times it misfires and we are the sufferers finally. So it can lead to take a wrong decision sometimes. But if you can manage a well emotional balance, emotional intelligence, then there are many chances that we can make personal decisions. Making personal decisions, intelligible personal decisions also we can manage with emotional intelligence. Then achieving positive results and increasing productivity, as I told you, we can achieve positive results. The other person who is encroaching your land may come with a stick, may come for attacking. But if you can balance your emotion without losing your tongue, without without using abusing languages, then there are many chances that you may expect positive results. Okay, they may compromise afterwards, or they may take back their words. Okay, so increasing productivity also, you can, whatever the result that you are expecting from that person, also you can increase the productivity. Okay, so that is the greatness of emotional intelligence. You can achieve positive results and also increase productivity. 4 areas of emotional intelligence. Okay, first, internal or recognition. Second, external or regulation. First, internal or recognition. Let us say internal competence, you can say, or external forces or internal forces. 2 types. Let us say first internal, personal competence. So self awareness. In that personal competence we have to be self aware. Okay, we should be well aware of ourselves. Ability to accurately perceive your own emotions, in the moment and understand your tendencies across situations. Here what we have to do is, we should be self awareness. We should be we should have a self awareness about ourselves. Okay, we should know what is our strength and what is our weakness. In this context, what I am trying to say is, what is your weakness and what is your strength. By recognizing our ability, by perceiving our own emotions in the moment. For suppose what we call, one person in the family is always very sensitive and very sympathetic towards others. Those who suffer, those who are in problems, he always tries to give everything whatever he has. Okay, so that might be a good thing, but keeping on continuing everything whatever he has, whatever he gets, everything sacrificing for the others, will not be so good. Okay, so that might be a good thing, but sometimes it leads to your your own problems. So that you have to identify yourself, that you have to perceive your own emotion. What is the emotion that is you have, whether it is so positive emotion, negative emotion, you have to self aware of your emotions. and your tendencies across situations. There might be different situations, okay, different situation in the sense, it might be some positive situations might come, or sometimes negative situations. Whatever the situation that comes, we have to be well balanced. Suppose there is a let us see negative situation, that is no, students are always trying to mislead the teacher in the classroom. Let us say this is a situation, intentionally they are trying to mislead the student, mislead the teacher, or they are trying to what we call criticize the teacher in the classroom. So it was deliberately done by the students, as they were very much aversion towards the teacher. So if the teacher can lose his temper at that moment, and if he tries to scold, or if he tries to have an argument with the students, then it leads to some other complications, and at the same times it may lead to a bad it may create a bad impression on you. Okay, so what you have to do, you have to be very much balanced, you have to manage your emotions at that time. Not only you, any teacher in your place will definitely lose his temper, and he definitely have a very good what we call, he definitely might take the students very seriously. Okay, but the student may defame you afterwards, and the student may take that opportunity in their favor, and they may defame you. So by taking all these consequences, you have to manage your emotional intelligence, you have to manage your balance. So at that situation, how you have to behave according to that event or situation, you have to be very much self-aware. Okay. Next, self-management, ability to use your awareness of your emotions to stay flexible and direct your behavior positively. As I told you, in that situation you should have an awareness of management, self-management. Okay, sometimes if we cannot manage ourselves, if we cannot timely decision, if you cannot take at that moment, it may lead to our failure. So what we have to do, we have to manage effectively. Self management is very important. Okay, so ability to use your emotions, your awareness of your emotions to stay flexible. So we should not suppose, for example, let us say one thing I will tell you to explain this one. There are recently married a wife and husband are there, and they are, in the beginning they were very mutually, they were very lovable, they were very affectionate to each other. But after a few days, they started quarreling each other, they started having a dispute with each other. Okay, so it might be a silly thing, or it might be a petty thing. Between wife and husband, there are so many issues come, and they try to solve those issues between them. If parents involve in that issue, or if in-laws involved in that issue become bigger and bigger. Afterwards what happens, they, wife and husbands, will become very close to each other, and the person who intrudes between, the person who involves, maybe in-laws side or maybe parents side, they might be blamed, they might be defamed. Okay, they might be seen as as culprits. So here, in-laws or parents should be very much balanced. They should not involve in that wife and husband issues. Okay, so they may sort out some silly issues, some unwanted issues. They may sort out those issues between themselves. But if you can involve in that, after a few days they will become very close. As they are wife and husband, they will become very close again, and will become a scapegoat. Okay, so they will look at us in a contempting manner. Okay, so likewise we have to manage in those situations. We should not, maybe sometimes we lose our emotion and we cannot manage, but we have to manage at that time based on the situation and event. Okay, so ability to use your awareness of your emotions to stay flexible and direct your behavior positively. So we have to direct our behavior in a positive manner. Next, social competence, personal competence, now social competence. In personal competence we have two awareness, two things. One is self awareness, and the second one is self management. In social competence, we have two things again: social awareness and relationship management. Let us see social awareness. The ability to ability to accurately pick up on emotions in other people and understand what is really going on with them. So, in social awareness, in social context or social situations, we should be able to understand. We should be able to understand what we call understand the emotions in other people. Suppose if it is you, you can manage, but how you can manage in other people's emotions. Okay, that is also very important. You should be able to use your awareness of your emotions. Sorry, you should have ability to accurately pick up on emotions in other people and understand what is really going on with them. So some people is suppose one of your neighbor is very emotional and he is crying. He came to you and he started crying by explaining his family problems. So you have to understand his emotional awareness, his awareness, his ability. What is his what we call his emotion? Okay, so what is his main intention behind crying towards coming towards you and explaining all those his personal problems, his family problems to you? So you have to understand what is really going on with them, whether he is going to take any extreme decision, whether he is he's trying to whether he is getting he wanted to get some consolation from you, or whether he is trying to whether he is trying to what we call divert you with his emotions, or whether he is really having those problems and he wanted to explain with you so that you will show some sympathy on you upon him. So likewise, what is going to happen to him, that you should understand. Okay, next, relationship management. It is very important these days. So we should have a good relationship with our family members, we should have good relationship with our friends, we should have a good relationship with our colleagues, we should have a good relationship with neighbors. So we should maintain a very good relationship with everybody. So to manage and to have a good relationship with others, we have to have the ability to use your awareness of your own emotions. So as I told you, we should have a very clear cut and very good awareness about our own emotions and those of others to manage interaction successfully. So to have a good relationship, you have to, suppose some people what we call, let me explain you relationship management. Some people, when they don't take alcohol, they speak very much what we call very in a friendly manner. They speak very good with others and family members, but after taking some alcohol or after taking some drinks, their brain will not function properly and they feel very emotional sometimes, and they cry, and sometimes they try to beat somebody else in the family. Then that might be a kind of management. In that situation, if the other person reacts in the same manner, the relationship might disturb, or it might get friction. So from some, it happens in the family, but if the other family members also involves in this issue, he will also get some blame in this situation. So what he has to do in that situation is that the person who is in inebriated condition, the person who is having some alcohol, as he is in not normal condition, might be some emotional weakness. Due to this emotional weakness, he might scold, or he might take some what we call, he might take some bad words to use and scold somebody else. But at that moment, we have to be very much balanced. Okay, because the other person is not in very good balanced manner. So we have to manage our emotions so that we can have a good relationship afterwards. Suppose one of your friend tongue slipped after having some alcohol, and he scolded you, and he abused you in a negative way. So you should not react in the same manner. You should maintain your emotional intelligence at that moment. So keeping your relationship, keeping your relationship with him, you should act accordingly. If you can also say act in the same manner, okay, then there might be some break of relationship, or there might be some relationship problem with others and with you. So in that situations you have to be very much balanced. So relationship management is ability to use your own awareness of your own emotions and those of others to manage interactions successfully. Next, emotional competencies. Self and other. That is personal competence, social competence. Let us see. Self awareness, emotional self awareness. So we should be well aware of our self emotions. What is our emotional quotient, or what is our emotional weakness or emotional strength? We have to be very much aware of those things. Okay, whether we are very sympathetic, whether we are very emotional, whether we are very what we call very panic, we are very what we call very outrageous. Okay, so what is our awareness, what is our self awareness, what is our weakness and what is our strength? We have to have a self awareness on that. And accurate self assessment, we have to assess ourselves accurately. Assessment, we have to have estimate ourselves. So if you can take this decision, what happens? Sorry, what is, if you can have this kind of quality, what kind of things will lead in the future? Self confidence, how much self confidence we have, whether we have very much overconfidence or lower confidence, or self confidence in adequate manner, in a proper manner or not. So we have to be self awareness of all these things. Our personal competencies, self awareness, emotional or self awareness, emotional self awareness, accurate self assessment and self confidence. These three things are very important. We have to assume, we have to understand these things. Now other, in social competence, social awareness, empathy, we should have empathy towards others. Service orientation means we have to be able to do some service to others. Okay, then organizational awareness, what kind of awareness, whether we have organizational awareness or not. So this is comes under social. It is self management and relationship management. Let us first see self management. Emotional self control, so we have to be controlled ourselves, whether it is high emotional, whether it is crying for silly things, or whether it is showing anger for silly things, or so all things are danger. So we have to exhibit, we have to show ourselves, our emotions in a right manner, in a right manner at the right time. Unnecessarily we should not show our emotions, and when if it is necessary also, we should not remain calm without showing the emotions. Okay, so any emotion, we should be emotional self control. Trustworthiness, okay, we should have the quality of trustworthiness. We should always trust somebody. If you cannot trust anybody, then it is also a kind of weakness, or it is also a kind of what we call lack of emotional intelligence. Conscientiousness means whether we might be motivated, or we might be sometimes forced to do something else, but our conscientiousness is sometimes reminds us whether it is right or wrong. Suppose if you don't have money with you, and somebody provokes you, motivates you to do some wrong things, but your conscientiousness will not accept to do so, but the situation demands to take the to take that opportunity in your favor. So whether you do right or wrong, whether you do good or bad, your conscientiousness will always speaks to you in the heart, whether it is right or wrong. So that you should have. Adaptability, you should be able to adapt yourself according to the situation. Okay, then what is this one? 1 minute. Achievement drive. So you should be able to achieve, and that should achievement drive you should have an initiative. When time comes, sometimes people will not be able to take initiative, but you should be able to take initiative when time comes, when the right time comes. Okay. Then relationship management, developing others. So to some extent at least, should try to develop others, not always try to develop yourself. Sometimes you should also try to develop others in whatever the possible way that is convenient to you. It might be financial help, it might be a social help, whether it might be no, what we call friendship help, whatever it may be, the help are there are so many times, so many ways, but you should others try to develop others in whatever the possible way. Influence, you should have a good influence, so that you will have a good relationship management. Communication, you should have very good communication skills. Okay, should not always scold. Communication is also one of the very important aspect of self intelligence. So how you communicate with others, how you communicate with yourself, that also matters a lot. And conflict management. Okay, so many type of conflicts that comes around: family conflict, wife conflict, okay, and social conflict. Okay, all those conflicts are common to all of us, but we have to manage those conflicts effectively. Visionary leadership. Visionary leadership. So a leader should have a vision. So to manage yourself or to manage others, you should have a visionary leadership qualities. Okay, and then catalyzing change. So you should be able to adapt a change, and you should be able to inspire others by taking you as a role model. The others should change by taking you as a model. And building bonds, you should build the bonds in the sense relationship. You should build a good rapport. You should build a good bond with your family members. In the social context also, you should have a good relationship bond. Okay, so that helps you to have some emotional intelligence. When you maintain, when you balance all those things, definitely there might be many chances that you would definitely balance yourself. If you grow in your career, you excel in your career. So all those things helps you to mingle with others and to manage yourself and manage others. Okay, so as of now we have discussed so many things. Okay, competencies, okay, self management, relationship management, personal management, other management, personal competence, social competence. Okay, and we also discussed 4 areas of emotional intelligence: personal, internal and external emotions, internal and external competence, personal competence and social competence. So all these things help us to manage ourselves and also to manage others in our day-to-day life. So to lead a successful life in our day-to-day life, to avoid complications with others, to manage a good relationship with others, to manage yourself, to manage with others, you have to have you should have all these qualities, so that definitely you can manage yourself and you can become a successful person in your career. Not only in your career, you will also become a role model and a source of inspiration to others, and people will also take you as a as a torch bearer. People will also take you as a symbol for the change. So all those qualities that which we have discussed right now, as of now, are very important and very useful also. If you can implement all those qualities, definitely we can rise to the higher level of our career, and also we can be a role model to others if you can maintain all those emotional intelligence. Okay, with this I would like to conclude our today's class, and I will also try to I will also request you, my dear students, try to have all these qualities in this globalization. It is pertinent to have all those examples, all those qualities to manage ourselves and to manage others, so that we will emerge as a sometimes successful businessman, successful entrepreneur, or will become a successful family member also, we can become a successful family member. So I hope you will understand today's class, and see you in the next class. Till then, bye my dear students. Thank you for listening patiently. Okay.